meteorologist Elita Loresca if today's a good day to lace up and get out there.
I'll tell you what, if you like the steam, you know, that free sauna, it's definitely going to be a good day for that. Less storms in the forecast, but it's not going to be completely rain-free. So the areas that obviously get the rain and the thunderstorms, which will be few and far between this afternoon, you could get a cooling downpour. Temperature readings in the upper 70s at this hour. Temperatures are a couple degrees lower compared to yesterday. The feels like temperature, though, still 81 degrees. Now, you can see that the true color satellite clouds not quite as active as they were this time yesterday. Most of the activity today is going to be over the Panhandle and North Texas. We did see some clouds kind of burst overnight. Those clouds have pretty much dissipated, and the boundary that triggered those showers and thunderstorms yesterday will continue to lift to the north. So the forcing mechanism of these thunderstorms will be lifting away from us. So we've dropped the rain chance today to about 20%. There's a few spotty showers coming in off of that breeze. Otherwise, things are nice and dry across most areas. So between Matagorda and Bay City, mainly in Matagorda County, seeing some activity, and some of that activity could lift into Wharton County. Temperature-wise, in the mid-70s right now in Tomball. Good morning, Wharton. You're at 77. Sealy at 79. Humble at 77 degrees. Future track is picking up on a partly cloudy start to the morning, and then some clouds returning. There's going to be enough moisture in place, and with the sea breeze this afternoon, you could get an isolated downpour or two. We've got that rain chance today at about 20 to 30%, just depending on where you are. I'm thinking along I-10 and toward the south is where you may see a higher probability of seeing a few of those cooling downpours. We've got temperature readings climbing by noontime, 88 degrees this afternoon in the low 90s. We'll talk more in detail about the rest of the week and that Saharan haze, where it's headed, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Elita. Let's check on your forecast with meteorologist Elita Loresca. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. Man, we had some big thunder boomers yesterday. Some areas picking over 4 inches of rain. Now today, we still have a small chance for some big thunderstorms to roll through the area. The coverage is less depending on where you are. Right now, it looks like Houston, only about a 20% chance you'll get in on some of those cooling downpours, and then lowering those rain chances for Friday and Saturday as a heat ridge starts to build. By next week, though, those rain chances will be climbing as a pattern change unfolds across southeast Texas. More on that coming up in this weathercast. Here's the breakdown of the rain chance for today. The closer you are toward the coastline, there's going to be a better opportunity for a few of those pop-up showers, maybe even a couple rumbles of thunder. And as those showers continue to drift to the north, it's going to be losing its effect, if you will. It'll be fizzling out. So you'll only have about a 20% chance of a rain shower north of Interstate 10. Now, the frontal boundary that was moving towards southeast Texas yesterday is now starting to drift northward. So we're going to lose that mechanism for some showers and thunderstorms. This morning, still enough moisture in place for a quick moving rain shower. We've got a little bit of activity around Calhoun and Matagorda County. A few of those rain showers around Port Lavaca, and between Matagorda and Sargent up toward Bay City, some of those rain showers are drifting up to the north. Otherwise, we're starting off with just a few clouds this morning, mostly dry sky, and then heading into the afternoon with the sea breeze and moisture in place. Here's a look at that 30% chance that I just mentioned, and then a 20% chance further to the north as those rain showers, a couple of them, may remain intact as they continue to drift toward the north later on this afternoon into the evening hours. In the meantime, temperature readings out the door are in the upper 70s. Calm wind right now in the city of Houston. We don't anticipate too much of a breeze this afternoon. Those winds anywhere between 10 to 15 miles per hour around Galveston. Could see some occasional gusts along the coastline closer to 20 miles per hour. So we're at 74 right now in Navasota, 77 in Humble by this afternoon. A little bit warmer than yesterday, and some spots in the low to mid 90s, closer to the coastline in the upper 80s there. But when you factor in the humidity, we've got feels like temperatures that could range anywhere from 102 in Brenham, 102, 103 in the city of Houston, and that is in the shade. So if you're in direct sunshine, tack on an additional 10 to 15 degrees to that. And it does look like we're in for a pretty much kind of a rinse and repeat forecast. The only added feature we will see for Friday and Saturday will be that Saharan dust. and we'll be tracking that as we get into the overnight hours. This morning, that dust, the thickest concentration, impacting mostly the eastern Gulf, the Caribbean, Florida, out toward the Bahamas, and then a piece of that is going to be drifting in our area. Now, the latest model data is showing a pretty good concentration coming up here along the Gulf and then pushing into our area as we get into the Friday night, Saturday timeframe. By Sunday, most of that dust is thinning out and lifting up and away from us. So if we have any sort of impacts as far as air quality, it's going to be that Friday and Saturday timeframe. Now, this heat ridge that's going to be building in for the rest of the week into the weekend, it will peak, allowing for some record-breaking temperatures for Saturday and Sunday. That's going to be moving away. This is going to set us up for that pattern change that I just mentioned, and then a front to eventually dive southward. Now, this front is not going to get a push that it needs to clear the coast. So what's going to happen with that front, depending on where it stalls, that's going to be the mechanism that generates some showers and thunderstorms on the daily as we get past the weekend. So right now we still have about a 30% chance of rain on Monday. We're going to continue to make those tweaks, of course, as we get better confidence, better model data. But by Tuesday, thunderstorms do turn likely, and then a 40% chance Wednesday, Thursday, with a slow decline in those rain chances as we close out next week. And you'll notice that the temperature readings will be noticeably lower with the added rain showers and clouds. Those temperature readings should stay below 90 degrees for most of next week as those storm chances go up. Back to you, ladies.
All right, thank you so much. A lot of rain last night, but others really did.
I did.
You did?
2 days in a row.
What?
Yeah, the other day, the kids decided with my husband that they were going to wash the car during those heavy rains. Free water, right? And then yesterday we went to go get snow cones, and we were like trying to dodge the downpours getting back into the house. That was funny. Yeah, today a lesser chance of getting those downpours, but nonetheless, be out on the lookout because there will be a couple counties where you could see some heavy rain. 78 degrees, a mostly dry sky, cloudy conditions. Temperature readings running a touch cooler in some spots. Otherwise, it is definitely a quieter start to the morning. True Color satellite showing some clouds over the northern parts of the state. We've got some rain there underneath those clouds. A couple of strong thunderstorms as well, not too far from the Lubbock area. But here's the boundary that served as the focus point for some showers and thunderstorms yesterday. Now, this front is lifting northward, so the focusing mechanism is moving away from us. So that's going to allow those temperature readings, or rather the rain chances, to drop today to about 30% down along our coastal communities where we do have some higher moisture levels this morning, along with the sea breeze. It's going to allow for a couple of those streamer rain showers to move through. 79 degrees right now in Katy, 77 in Humble, a little bit cooler for you in Liberty, City of Liberty. Temperature readings this afternoon will warm into the low 90s, but you'll notice some clouds returning along with a few downpours, and those downpours could be on the heavy side. Those are the type of showers and thunderstorms that could quickly bring about an inch of rain in some spots and maybe even some ponding on the roads. Here's a look at that hour-by-hour forecast. By 10 a.m., we're at 85 degrees, 88 at noontime. That rain chance only at about 20%. Looking for temperature readings to warm this afternoon, somewhere around 93 degrees. We've got some haze back in the forecast beginning tomorrow. I'll time that out for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Elita. Houston firefighters.
Those glass windows, right? All right, weather-wise, before we get to our local forecast, let's talk about the tropics. Things are nice and quiet across the Atlantic basin. We did see those disorganized showers and thunderstorms slowly start to diminish. Still some heavy rain around the mid-Atlantic, but no longer is the National Hurricane Center worried that that could turn into something tropical. So over the next 7 days, the National Hurricane Center is saying no tropical development is expected. We've been monitoring a couple of large plumes of Saharan dust. There's a new dust cloud that's going to be moving off the coast of Africa, and then we've got another one here, thicker concentration closer to home, covering most of the eastern Gulf here out toward the Bahamas. A piece of that's going to be pushing into the mid-Atlantic coastline, and then we get a piece of it coming in here overnight tonight into tomorrow. So by Friday afternoon, that thicker concentration is sitting off the coast and will be pushing in our direction Friday, Saturday. So by Sunday, it'll be thinning out, dispersing across much of the state, and no longer an issue. But there will be a hazy sky for us Friday and Saturday. Meanwhile, as far as tropical development, nothing in the Gulf or the Atlantic, but on the eastern Pacific side, that particular storm system, these showers and thunderstorms have a better probability approximately 80% over the next 7 days. And typically for the month of June, the area that we're most concerned, most favorable for tropical development is actually closer to home, somewhere in the Gulf, the northwestern Caribbean, the eastern Gulf potentially. Sometimes we get some development over the mid-Atlantic coastline and can't ever rule it out for some of that moisture to impact the Gulf. But for now, nothing tropically that we're worried about. Out the door this morning, things are nice and dry. A few scattered clouds. It is warm. It is sticky. You will feel it this morning. Just feels like a sauna with feels like temperatures closer to the low 80s. Air temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s at this hour with afternoon temperatures in the low 90s. We'll see those feels like temperatures right around the century mark. Some areas between 100 to 103. Not going to get much help with some cooling showers and thunderstorms, but it won't be rain free. We've got about a 30% chance closer to the coastline, 20% or less the further north you go. 13 alert radar is showing a little bit of moisture down along our coastal communities, but the front that brought in the rain yesterday and the disturbance has drifted northward. Not anticipating any disturbances today rolling through the area, but with the sea breeze, that could perhaps bring us a few quick moving rain showers or thunderstorms. This morning, just some pockets of rain between Port O'Connor and Edna. That's going to be drifting up toward the Edna area in Jackson County. And those rain showers that we were tracking around Sargent and Matagorda have already dissipated. And that's the type of activity for today. They'll be forming along the coastline, drifting northward. There's that chance. I'm thinking between 2 to 5 p.m. That's going to be the best chance of seeing any sort of those showers or thunderstorms move across the area. And then most of those thunderstorms or showers will be diminishing once the sun goes down. So by 7 or 8 o'clock or so, we'll be mostly dry. I want to show you that the rain chances will be ramping up by next week, and you can see that the map is going to be very, very colorful, especially beyond the weekend. You can bet that most of the accumulations that you're seeing on this 7-day map is due to the rains coming in next week and not for the rain that's going to be falling between now through Sunday. That chance for rain across our area will be 20% or less. And it's not just our part of the state. You can see a good part of the Lone Star State is going to get some help, and that's much needed, especially with our drought situation still expanding into West Texas. So the heat ridge drawing in the mostly dry, hot conditions for the weekend will be pushing away, and it's going to be this front that starts to blow in early next week that will serve as the main focus point for these showers and thunderstorms to arrive. And with the added rains next week, that's going to lower temperatures. Temperature readings next week only hovering in the upper 80s once we get past Monday, ladies.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Elita.